Welcome back to Sports Sunday Live. What a absolutely positive day for India. A lots to talk about, and for all of that, I have my expert Salil with me. But before we get into the details, Salil, what's your take on the day?
Oh, absolutely brilliant day of batting for India. Although we felt like the sun will be out and it'll be much easier to bat, I think it started off with some difficult conditions for batting, but I think the Indian batsmen weathered that storm really well. And Rohit Sharma being the star of the day for in the Indian batting, everything to talk about. The way he batted and the way he paced his innings along with Pujara. I think they really took the cake. And I think at this point in time, with the game abandoned, I think India would be slightly missing out because they are batting really well. But England would be quite happy at going to Stumps on day three now.
Yeah, absolutely. Their bowl, we just run them their bowlers down. They were just tiring. You could see the drooping shoulders there at the field. And one of the primary reasons for that is Rohit Sharma. I won't speak a lot directly to you, Salil. What's your take on his entire innings? How well do you think he managed those tricky periods which were there at the start, where the ball was not doing much, but it was stopping a bit. Then towards the lunch session, we could see towards the tea session. Sorry, you could see they had a different strategy where they were bowling short into the body. So how well do you think Rohit Sharma handled all of it? And a few words on his terrific innings as well.
Well, I think you said most of it, but not all of it. And quite honestly, with Rohit Sharma, there's no end to how much you can praise him today. I think after debuting for white ball cricket in 2007 and coming to the Test scene in 2013, now he's transformed into this batsman that he needs to be till he hangs his boots. I think he would be possibly the best red ball opener currently that India really needs. I mean, the kind of composure that he's kept all throughout this series. I mean, the stun was always coming. What he's really shown is he's got the temperament, he's got the patience, he's got the right lazy technique. You really like to see him bat. It's like the bowlers are coming and bowling. So I think batting in today morning's situation, where it was a little overcast and giving slight shape to the ball, bowled by Anderson or Wooks. I think he batted it quite brilliantly, along with Rahul, who was slightly unlucky, you can say. But then you should give that to the English bowlers to keep their line in length. So all in all, I think Rohit Sharma, this 8 ton that he's got, the first one outside of India, and in an international location, I think this would be the one that he'll cherish the most. Slightly disappointed on the way he got out, but not to take away from his 127, really saving the match for now for the situation for India, and getting 65 runs and 91 runs in the second session along with Cheteshwar Pujara. I think it was just brilliantly done by him.
And that gets me to a very happy and smiling expert, Salil. We have the scorecard with us. I'm sure all the people who are watching this show would be smiling right now because there are some good numbers to see, a lot of positives. What is your entire take on the scorecard?
Well, I mean, what a response to 191 in the first innings by India. I think they're 270 for three. They were 200 for one. So I think that's a great response. They've really responded by looking at the situation, best kind of scenario to bat on, and barring that one, new ball over by Ollie Robinson, that one small statistic. I think India would be batting. Rohit Sharma and Pujara both would be batting now. So all in all, I think apart from that one over, India won possibly the entire day. Even Virat Kohli towards the end, batting on 22 of just some 30 something balls. I think that's positive batting. A few shots that he played on the offside, a square cut, a cover drive. I think they were absolutely brilliant shots, and I think he showed a lot of touch, a lot of promise that India can take back to Stumps and to start tomorrow, because I think India would really want to bat 2 sessions tomorrow before they give England, a decent enough target to chase. Because currently, I think 170 is still not enough. England might make that in 2 or 3 sessions. So I think more there is to bat. I think half the job done by the openers and Pujara, and I think Virat Kohli and the rest of the tail should try and score at least 150 more runs before the English batsmen play their first ball.
Even we hope so. Your predictions have been going quite right for us. You predicted a Rohit Sharma 100. We got it today. So I'm really happy you said that we can get more 150. So that I'm really positive that our batsman can go and get that. But today was a day of Indian batsmen. We are speaking about it a lot. There's enough discussion going on around how well the players are playing, how well they aren't. But there were a lot of stats. There were a lot of records which were done today. This is the first time that both the openers have scored 300 or more in a series in England. There have been specific records done by Rohit Sharma as well. But after that, you spoke about how well he's adapted to the red ball circuit. But there's that one guy who's been always been the standout performer in red ball cricket. That's Pujara. Again today, just before the tea session, a small injury scar where he just slipped and sort of did his ankle. But again, after that, the way he played. And there's been one peculiar point about Pujara I would like to know your thoughts about is his strike rate. We can see a considerable difference in the way he's scoring runs. Now, currently, he's consistently batting around those 40s, 45s, and 50 strike rate, whereas earlier it was quite low. So, what do you have to say about Pujara, and what change do you think he has brought about because of which he's able to score runs quickly?
Well, I think Pujara, being the Test player of his caliber and played for so many instances for India, I think he's been slightly out of form in this series. But the last 2-3 innings, he scored a 91. He scored a 40 with Rahane at Lords. So I think all in all, he's stuck to his task. Considering the fact that batting has not been really easy for the Indian team, you know that out of 4 matches we've lost 3 and put into bat. So it wasn't the best situation with a new ball on a new day of a test match. I think pretty much, India have been starting the match with their backs to the wall and one quick wicket falling and you have Pujara coming there. Obviously not in the best kind of situation, best kind of, an atmosphere where Jamie Anderson or Ollie Robinson is really ripping you apart. So I think apart from that, Pujara has really showed mettle, whether in the last test or it's about playing now. And what you saw from him was a change with the change of conditions. I think the ball coming more easier onto the bat, that made it more easy for him to play because he's a free flowing player. And he kept getting those singles and doubles, on that gloomy first session where Rahul got out. And I think he quick fired, went to a 30, 40 runs. And I think he steadied his innings after that, after Rohit Sharma started getting. So I think he paced his innings really well. It's really sad he got the way he got out the way he got. I mean, I think that was soft dismissal and a really unlucky over, something that both Rohit Sharma and Pujara over dinner might be saying, oh, damn, that 81st over with the new ball. But apart from that, I think brilliant batting by India, and there is only hope now. You have King Kohli at the crease, batting at 22 not out. And while he's taken the decision for the bad light, he would want to take a crack at the entire day tomorrow and see if you really get a grip on this game.
Yeah, absolutely. We also hope King Kohli gets the runs. We have seen 250s. Now we want to see a big 100 from him. But along with him, the second batsman, it's Ravindra Jadeja. So for the last test at this time, we have seen that difference, that Jadeja at number 5 instead of Rahane. So do you think it's a tactical change to have that extended left hand right hand combination, or do you think it's more of to shield Rahane and Pant who are not in the best of form? What's your take on this? Why do you think that they have got this change?
Well, I don't think it's to shield Rahane. I think if Rahane cannot shield himself, there is no way that Jadeja will be able to shield himself better. So I mean that's really demoting oneself. So purely, I think this is purely because of some strategy that they've thought of. The one thing that I can think of is the English bowlers bowl a lot of those outswingers, and something that could negate the concentration of the English bowlers, and they'll have to bowl to a right-left combination. But Jadeja is more. He's been leaving the ball really well. So I think those are some of the attributes that they might have kept in mind when they promoted him. And so far, I think it's working now because maybe they might want to accelerate a little bit tomorrow after the 20th over, because Virat Kohli is surely going to do that. Because if he's going to be batting tomorrow, he will not be in a conservative mode. He will be in an attacking mode, and he would want to really see if there is a possibility of a victory and what would be the right target for England, because they might not be really going at it, because the ball also spun a couple of times that Moeen Ali pitched it in the rough. So these are all those factors that they'll definitely have in mind. And if you need to bowl, even Rohit Sharma can bowl a couple of off spinners. So I think that should not be a problem. Indian the Virat Kohli and camp would have all those options open. But I think before they get to that, they need to still post a good total. Currently, we are at 171. That England can easily make. Obviously, they'll try to bat 2 sessions and maybe around tea time give England you know try to make the target, which I don't think will be so easy.
Yeah, I hope we get the 150 runs you mentioned as early as possible. Even more than that, we are happy for it. But now, if I just talk about I come to the other side of the table. That's the English bowling attack. Whatever we have seen, once they take the new ball, it looked like a complete different bowling attack. Anderson coming in, Ollie Robinson coming in, and suddenly you get 2 wickets in the first over itself. So old ball as compared to the new ball, it looks certainly different and a certainly lethal bowling lineup. The new ball is just 12 overs old as of now. So tomorrow it will be certainly a difficult period for Virat Kohli and Jadeja to sort of negate. And how do you think they should go about that, particularly the first hour or so of the day?
Well, I think what that point that you mentioned of the English bowlers and the new ball, that's one that one's really been a thorn in the flesh for the Indian batting. Quite honestly, in this entire Test series, the part of the England team that looks the deadliest is their first 10 overs, and their bowlers have done just that. I think their bowlers, both Anderson and Ollie Robinson, have extracted more from the conditions than the Indian bowlers. They obviously are homebred, so you can expect that from them. But obviously, not taking any credit away from them. I think they've always looked lethal. They almost got England into the game today, and they really have. Because tomorrow, if Kohli and Jadeja would try to settle down, and they might just get a few wickets, then England might just win the game tomorrow itself. So, I mean, that's the kind of chance that they would be really hoping for, being the English cricketers. But at the same time, I think the conditions are a little more easier to bat on. If they had to give a wicket away, it would have happened in the last 10 overs. But Virat Kohli and Jadeja probably almost came on the second over of the new ball, have batted really well. And they're leaving the balls really well. They're playing the spin. I mean, after bad light was called, Joe Root tried the spin option, hoping that they might try to hit a few and maybe edge a few and sky a few and give away their wickets. But they clearly saw Jadeja and Kohli stroking the ball really well, and I think they said, let's not take more runs unnecessarily. We might as well retire for the day. So good call from an English perspective. It shows that they were on the defense and were thinking from a perspective where they should not lose the game really early. So they'd rather come home. So I think good decision by Joe Root.
Absolutely, one of those days where we can say that the Indian batsmen applied themselves really well. We have been waiting for a long, long time to say this, but thank you so much, Salil. You have also used your brains enough. Your predictions were spot on today. Any specific prediction you have for us tomorrow?
Well, I am hoping to see a Virat Kohli score a 70 or 80 runs minimum tomorrow.
Let's hope for the best. We have King Kohli on the crease right now, along with Amit Jadeja. We will see you guys again tomorrow before the start of Day's Play to discuss on what we can expect for the day to come. But as of now, thank you so much. Thank you so much, Salil. Thank you, everybody, for joining us. This is Sports Adda Live.